Well, you're nearly having me convinced to go get a flight to Rome just to watch it, because I've been to many of your competitions. Because I'd be competing, obviously I wouldn't be doing great, and then I'd be like, how's Davey getting on? And the lads are like, do you even need to ask? And there you look over and you're having absolute battles with people. But there's one in particular that will always stand out for me, and it was your ADCC Ireland final match against Josh Scully. That was one of the most intense back and forth matches like I've ever seen. It's probably one of the best that was over the course of all the ADCC Ireland matches. That one in particular.
Yeah.
And I remember you were like, you went for what, 12, 13 minutes straight?
Yeah.
Like with the overtime, and you caught him at the end. You came off the mat, and I said this to you before we did the podcast, and I was like, I remember asking you, I was like, you were sunk in submissions, and you were like, he wasn't going to tap me. I'm not going to let him beat me. But like, that's just insane.
Yeah. No, overall that day, but no, that match. Yeah, no, we were really focused on that match. It was just like, I had three matches prior to that. You know, I knew Josh just from competing with against Linden, and they had a couple of matches against each other back, you know, in Grapple Industries, or even I think just Grapple Industries and Grapple Kings possibly, actually. And I'm like, Jesus, this I knew this lad was good, you know, that Josh is very good, because he's savage. And then it was just the build up, just the energy, and it was a final, and I knew that that's going to be the final. I knew that he's in my bracket. He's going to run through his side of the bracket. I'm going to run through my side of the bracket, and it's just going to be a final. You know, it's going to be two of us in the final. And even after the match, we were talking, and he said the same thing. Is like, it's going to be me and you in the final. That's what he was thinking, and that's what he was saying to John Kelly, and that's what John Kelly told him. That is like, it's just going to be you and Davey in the final. That's it. And then that's, I really. No, that match was class.
That was a savage match.
That match was that. I keep going back to that match, because that's the match that it is. It was like, there were so many things happening in that match, you know, the sequences, and just the duration of it. Like, it was, we went for like over 11 minutes. You know, he had me in submissions. Them triangle chokes were tight, like they were tight. Like the very first one I remember, the only thing that saved me was my frame around his hip. That was the only thing I said that to save me. I just had a little bit of space to breathe. And then I got into like my late stage defense, so just stand up and then throw the legs over. And then not too long after that, she got me into another triangle. So I was like, shit. And then in my head, I'm like, you know what? I might as well just go into late stage straight away. Just avoid the early stage. You're like, obviously he's very good at getting me into submission. So I was like, you know what? Late stage straight away. So I threw the legs over, and then just kind of working the duck under passing and stuff like that. And half guard and loads of turtles, and wow, Jesus, there was actually a lot. There was a lot happening, and even the takedown. I was actually happy, because I got two takedowns in the match. I got the initial takedown, and then the takedown in overtime, which obviously I was very happy with that, because I'm the wrestler. So yeah, no, the match was about 11 minutes. 11, I think it was 11:30. And then throughout the whole match, I would turtle a lot, and Josh would turtle a lot, just to kind of not give up on your points. And then that's why it's just, we'll get someone on bottom, and we wouldn't even pass each other's guard. He wouldn't pass my guard. I didn't pass his guard once, because it was so good at retaining everything, you know. And even when we're so close a passing guard, then just turtle and not give up the point, which is like, well, but if you turtle, then you're obviously more vulnerable to different things, basically back takes, and obviously front headlock choke stuff, and so on. And for the first like couple of minutes of the first 10 minutes of the match, it was like, I couldn't do anything from turtle. It was just so nice and tight. I'm like, Jesus, it's hard. It's just hard. It's just very hard to do anything. But then the initial finish was the back take. I took his back, and from turtle I got my bottom hook in. I just broke him onto the side, got my hooks in, and then And then once I got like hooks in, I always start working the choke, and it worked out. So I'm very delighted with that, to be honest. But yeah, no, that match was absolutely serious. Like the energy of that match was. It's definitely my toughest match so far. Like yeah, no, that was definitely the toughest. Um,
What was your main takeaway from that match?
I could just go all day. No, literally, I could just go all day. That I not no matter like, and I just like that. Like that was like the fourth match, so it's like no matter who, like how many matches I have, I can just go all day, you know. And obviously, just getting into that kind of getting that thought in your head after a match like that and winning gold is like, whoa, Jesus, you're just an animal, like. Especially going against someone high level as him. Especially I was a blue belt at that time, you know, and then Josh was obviously purple a good while back then, and then just beating a very high profile purple belt in Ireland. It just meant a lot to me, you know, because it was just like it just showed that that's one of the moments that you're working for something for so long, and then it's like you've done it. You're after proving it to yourself, you know. Just you're after proving it to yourself that yes, you're doing the right thing. Just keep going. And that was one of the moments I was like, I won it. I got gold. I'm after being a very high profile purple belt in Ireland, so I'm like, yes, I'm on the right path here, you know. And especially with the stuff that we're working right now, that was something else. That's just a feeling. Yeah, no, it was just crazy. And I remember we actually made a little, you know, the trio, the Sparta kind of like, what is your profession? You've definitely heard me actually doing that, because Thomas back in the crowd, he just shouted it all out like, what is your profession? And then I just started roaring like, oh, oh, oh. And that just got me so, like, just the match itself just got me so hyped. I'm like, that's how I feel right now. That's all of that kind of energy coming out of me. It's like, yes, I done. It's like, yes, I'm after doing all of that. I'm after getting gold. I had a great day. I'm after getting loads of techniques going. I had a match with one of the best purple belts in Ireland. I'm after winning that match. It's like, yes, let's go. It's like, what else can I be doing? It's like, this is the time, you know. That is great. And that was the kind of thought process that was going through my head on that match. No, it was incredible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I probably watched that match twice a month because like it was insane. There was 200 people plus standing around that middle mat watching the two of you.
And you know what?
Battle.
And I think that was the best thing about it, actually, because when our final was on, I don't think there was actually any other matches on. Like literally, I can't remember, or even maybe one on the left. But there was definitely a phase that we were just on the mat by ourselves. There was no one left or no one right. It was just ourselves, and then all of the eyes were just. And then that's another thing, you know. It's like people looking, and that's just like, no way I'm gonna lose when people are looking at me. It was the amount of times I rewatched the match. I'm like, fuck, that was just. But that's the matches you want. You know what I mean? That's the matches you want. Is like that's the obviously hard matches. That's hard matches, and high profile matches. That's one thing or another. But it's literally that's where everything just shows. You know, that's all your work that you're putting into your training and into your endurance and into your basically your training, just your training overall. That all pays their dues. You know what I mean? It's like that you got everything and it's working out, and that was just I'm never gonna forget that match. And I was no, like every single time when I go to a comp right now, it's like just everyone just points out that match. Like literally everyone just points it all out, especially the boys that be competing. You know, they just know that it's like that Josh is good, and it was just like a very good win for me. So Oh, them matches, them hard matches, the scrambles, and just overall being in the match was just like, you know what? I actually can't remember a lot from the match. Even watching the match, yeah, granted, I watched the match and I kind of but it was just everything was happening in obviously in this kind of, I don't even know. It was just everything was happening without even thinking. You know, that's what I mean. It's like all of the techniques and all of the scenario, all of the sequences and everything were just happening just like that. We weren't even thinking about stuff. I feel there's like myself and him, we just got into this flow of just win, or compete, or just fight. You know, I wasn't letting go. He wasn't letting go. So we'll just go, and just keep going. You know, and the end of the day, I got the tap, I got the finish. But I'll say we'll definitely meet each other at some stage once again. You know, and that'd be a nice match again. You know, Grapple Kings or somewhere just go again, just get a nice match, because it's just we're both young, so it's like we can just compete, and we're both like competitors, so it's like we don't take it to each other like, you know, that's I'm not going around with like, oh, you know, I'm after beating you and stuff like that. That's the biggest thing I feel that is like the jiu-jitsu kind of competitor kind of side of it is like they're all so friendly. You know, when we step on the mats, it's like, yeah, grand, we'll fight, but then after it's all respect, you know. And that's why it is here, is like we'll go again, and I don't mind going again. Probably Josh doesn't, he wouldn't mind. It'll be just fun because I know that I can take so much away from that match, and then Josh, he'll take so much away from that match too. That is like, we'll just get better and better and better, and at the end of the day,
That's what it's all about.
it's just all about this. So just getting better and just reaching that point that you can really reaching that point of just understanding, you know, just being aware of the things that you like in competitions, you know. So one of these, maybe, we never know.